Algebra. We are wrapping up our unit with PO29, which, like we've seen a couple times throughout the unit, goes back to what we did in Unit 3. You can see PO29 is I can write the equation of, right? So think back to last unit, PO24, when we wrote equations of lines in slope-intercept form. We're doing that again, only now we're tying in PO28. And we're using the relationships of parallelity and perpendicularity, okay? And so going back, again, back to PO24 here, in order to write the equation of a linear function in slope-intercept form, what do we need to know? Think back to PO24. That was one where I gave you like a function table or two or pairs lines passes through. You had to write it in slope. What did you have to find, Caitlin? You need the slope, and you need the y-intercept. Okay, you need the y-intercept. So when it says slope-intercept form, which recall is y equals mx plus b, you're looking for the m, the slope, and you're looking for the b, the y-intercept. Okay, hold up. Yellow. Hi. Oh, did Julie not warn you how I answer the phone? Sorry. What's up? Oh, yes, I sent her an email yesterday saying that she said no. Okay. Okay. Yep. I can't right now. I'm in the, but I can do it 9:15. Tell her I'm actually doing my job. Okay. Bye. Okay. Folks, 3, 2, 1. You are quiet. And remember, writing an equation in slope-intercept form, you are looking at what is the slope and what is the y-intercept, right? And if you look back at PO24, that was one, like I said, I gave you a function table. You had to figure out the rise over the run, right? And then plug that in to solve for b. Same thing with two order pairs. You have to do the slope formula, find the slope. Now, using our parallel and perpendicular relationships, it changes. It actually should be maybe a little bit easier even, okay? Because if I tell you that your line needs to be parallel to the given line of y equals 2x plus 7, and your line has to pass through the point 5, 2, again, we're looking for the slope and the y-intercept. If your line's parallel to y equals 2x plus 7, what's the slope of your line going to be? 2x. It's the same, right? That's what parallel means. Parallel means same slope. So if the given line has a slope of 2, and your line's parallel to that, your line will also have a slope of 2. Okay? So understanding PO28 is going to be imperative to PO29 because you need to know, if I tell you something's parallel to a given line, what does that mean? Okay? And then passes through 5, 2. Here's where I give you an ordered pair that's on your line. So we're going to solve for b the same way we did in PO24. We're going to use that 5 as a value for x, use that 2 as a value for y, go to slope-intercept form, plug in what we know, again, that 2 for y, our slope is also 2, plug in 5 for x, and we're solving for b. Does this ring a bell?
Yes.
If it doesn't, you probably didn't pass PO24. If you did and you forgot it, I guess that's last year's lesson. If you intentionally pushed it on your mind, well, now it's going back. So, solving this now, 2 times 5 is 10. Nathan, warning for you. Subtract 10 from both sides to get b by itself. And we get a b value of -8. Okay? So your line that's parallel to the given line will be y equals 2x minus 8. Okay? I heard someone say, why is it negative? It's negative because in order to solve for b, you have to subtract 10 from both sides, opposite operations, right? And 2 minus 10 gives us -8. Okay? 2 minus 10 gives us -8. I didn't show the step of subtracting 10 because I ran out of space. So if you need to, then please do. Okay? Yes?
So you do the same thing for perpendicular?
Well, you wouldn't do the exact same thing for perpendicular because how does perpendicular change things? You use a negative reciprocal slope rather than the same one. Okay? Brielle, warning for you. Quiet, please. Cool.
Can we do the next equation?
Yes, we can. Any questions on this one before we move on? And also move the board up so you can see a little bit better. Nick.
Like, where do you subtract stuff? Like, when?
Subtract 7? You don't subtract 7. The 7 actually, we don't care about this. For parallel lines, we only care about the slope, which is where the 2 came from here. It came from the slope of the given line. I then used the ordered pair that you were provided, plugged in 2 for y, 5 for x, and solve for b. We end up subtracting 10, like to solve for b here, we have to subtract 10 from both sides to get b by itself. So that's where the subtraction comes in, but it's not a 7. Anything else? Warning for you, Sam. Okay. All right. Next one. Let's move on. We'll move it up so you can see a little bit better here. Parallel to y equals -10x plus 8 and passes through -230. Again, we're looking for the slope and the y-intercept. The fact that our line is parallel, what does that tell us about the slope of our line? This is the given line, right? Your line needs to be parallel to that. Katie? Our slope will have our line will have a slope of -10 because parallel means same slope. Okay? Now, to solve for b, you use the given ordered pair, -2 and 30. And just like in PO24, we go to slope-intercept form and plug in what we know. We know that our line will pass through -230, which means we can plug in 30 for y. We know our line is parallel to it, so it will have a slope of -10. We can use that -2 as a value for x, and now we can solve for b. Okay? Questions on that setup? Where the numbers came from, why it's a -10. Okay? How long until somebody get kicked out to the hallway?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay. So now we multiply. -10 times -2 is a +20. -10 times a -2 is a +20. Subtract 20 from both sides. Using opposite operations to get b by itself. And 30 minus 20 is a value of 10. Okay? So the equation of your line that is parallel to the given line and passes through -230 is going to be y equals -10x plus 10. Okay? Cool.
Can we do the
We'll do the next one, and that'll be the last one that we'll do together.
Can we do the fourth?
We're not going to do all 3 parallel and leave all 3 perpendicular for you to do by yourself. That would be a poor distribution of examples. Andrea,
So with the perpendicular.
let's just save that till we actually get there. I want to wrap this up. I need a little bow on it. Any other final thoughts, questions on the one we just did? Okay, the next one, perpendicular to y equals 3x minus 5 and passes through 27.6. Andrea, what is your question here?
So since we have to kind of make the slope 1/3, do we also divide the y and dx by 3?
You end up doing that, yes. And it's actually by -3 because the sign changed. But yeah, so perpendicular now means we have to switch our process a little bit. Cole? Okay. Perpendicular does not mean our slope is going to be 3 because our line is perpendicular to this one. So again, back to PO28, what does perpendicular mean? As far as their slopes, what does perpendicular mean? Polzinski.
Two lines or slopes intersecting at a 90-degree angle.
Okay, so that's the definition of what lines do. What does it mean for their slopes? Like parallel, it means their slopes are the same. That's why we just took the two. We took the
the numbers, like the fractions or proportions are switched and they're negative and positive.
Right. The fancy phrase that we used was negative reciprocal. Right. So if our given slope is 3/1, our slope for our perpendicular line is going to be, Paisley, -1/3. Okay, -1/3. So you have to pay attention. Is my line parallel? Is my line perpendicular? Because it changes how you get the slope from the given line. How you solve for b, though, is exactly the same. We can use this point 27.6. It gives us a value for x and for y. We plug in what we know in a slope-intercept form. We know y is 6. Our slope is -1/3. Our x value is 27. And we're solving for b. Okay. What's -1/3 of 27? -9. Okay, -1/3 of 27 is a -9. So we have 6 equals 9, -9. -9 plus b. I'm going to rewrite that all together.
Can I do the next step?
We're going to add 9 to both sides to get b by itself. And we get a b value of 15. Nathan.
What happens if you had two lines that were like the exact same?
Like one overlapped the other and they create the same line?
Yeah.
Then they wouldn't be parallel, they wouldn't be perpendicular, it'd be the exact same equation. And so the equation of your line that's perpendicular to y equals 3x minus 5 is y equals -1/3 x plus 15. Okay? Questions on that? This is the one time when 24 plus 28 will equal 29, because those are the two objectives that you need to understand for smooth sailing in 29. You have to understand how to solve for b, that's 24. You have to understand how to get your slope from parallel and perpendicular, that's 28. And they combine to make 29. Cool.
I have a question about the math test. So, how do you come up with the extra credit cards?
He just probably just searches.
No, I don't remember how. I don't know. I came up with them long.
One of the extra credits was also on the
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
it was the what one is like a year or something.
I hope you all got it right then.
No, it was
what
happens
happens
once in a month. No, what happens once in a month, twice in a moment,
Never in a
and
thousand
never
years.
in a letter.
Well, everyone got it right, so I guess not everyone
So
remembered it.
that's like a first grade flavor.
What is it?
Yeah.
Your assignments for tomorrow is to finish the page. These 3 here are exactly the same as the 3 examples that we did. You just need to pay attention to when are you dealing with a parallel line, when are you dealing with a perpendicular line, okay? And then do the appropriate process for that. Finding b is always the same. That doesn't change, right? That's how you get the slope depending on parallel or perpendicular. The 2 at the bottom, which we have not talked about yet, but will now, is write an equation that is parallel and an equation that is perpendicular to the given line. So you need 2 equations, one that is parallel and one that is perpendicular. Okay, so for starters, let's get the equation of the original line. What's the equation of the original line? Again, what's the M? What's the B? Put it together, Maddie.
Is it? I just forgot everything I learned in math.
I hate when that happens.
Y equals -1x.
It's not quite -1. I don't know. It might be kind of hard to see on your page, but you notice it doesn't hit that corner exactly there. The two places where it hits precisely there, and again down here. Okay, so the slope isn't quite -1.
Y equals -4/3.
Yeah, so the slope of our given line is -4/3. Okay, our y-intercept is 0. You're welcome. Passes right through the origin, right? So our equation of our given line is y equals -4/3 x. If you want to put the +0, you can. You don't have to. Okay. And so now you need to write the equation of a line that is parallel to it. Give me a potential equation of a line that's parallel to this one, Nathan.
Y equals -4/3x plus 8.
Good. Give me another potential parallel line here. Andrea.
Y equals -4/3x plus 10.
Good. Give me another potential parallel line here. Sam.
Y equals 4/3x plus 50 or 60.
Plus what?
60.
16. Okay. Remember, the y-intercept doesn't make a difference here. Okay. It's only the only y-intercept you can't have is you can't have 0 because that's the original line. Okay. Any other y-intercept, as long as the slope is the same, is going to make it a parallel line. That's all we care about. What is the slope? What is the slope? What is the slope? For parallel lines, it's got to be the same. Okay. How about for perpendicular? Give me a potential equation for a perpendicular line. Colin.
Y equals 3/4x.
Y equals 3/4 x. Why can the y-intercept be the same in this case, Colin? It's not going to be the same line, right? It can still have the same y-intercept, but if we plot this, right? It's going to make that right angle, okay? And it can pass through 0. Brielle, Charlotte, I'm done warning to you. This is it. Okay, so the y-intercept can be the same for this one. Nick, give me another potential.
No, I just had to ask
Yes.
you a question. So how do you find the slope on the graph?
The given line?
Yeah.
You look for two ordered pairs where the graph passes through a corner. Exactly. And here it's kind of tricky. It looks like it might pass through the corner, but it doesn't quite. It passes through the origin, and our next corner it passes through is right here, right? Then remember, slope is rise over run. So we look at how far do we go down, -4. How far do we go over 3? And that's where -4/3 comes from. It's the ratio of the rise versus the run. Give me one more perpendicular possibility. Somebody haven't heard from you today. I've heard from you. All right, Nathan, go ahead.
Y equals 3/4x plus 128.
Yes. Okay. As long as the slope is perpendicular to the given line, the y-intercept doesn't make a difference. So that's what you're doing for the next one also. Okay. You are writing the original line, and then one equation of a line that's parallel to it, one equation of a line that's perpendicular to it. And it all has to do with the slope. I saw a hand pop up here. Any other questions?
No.
Very well. All right, homework is the rest of the page. Practice test tomorrow. That's how you math.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.